stepfather accused.
You're so sick. You are such a liar.
Steve did take a polygraph test, and the results were...
Welcome back to the watch party. In this part 2 finale, we have a stepfather accused of doing the unthinkable to all of his stepdaughters. Now his biological daughter is here to confront him as well. He takes a polygraph test, and we get those results. Who's telling the truth? I'm Tippy Morgan. You be the judge.
After 10 years, the police got involved, and in 2001, Steve was convicted of child abuse and had to register as a sex offender. Melanie was convicted of child endangerment because authorities say she knew what was going on and did nothing. Take a look.
I didn't feel like I could protect my daughters. I didn't know Steve.
I went to my mom after the first time it happened to me. I remember her yelling at me that she was going to bring Steve out and I needed to tell Steve what I told her.
Steve denied that he had done anything to Jessica and said that she was simply misinterpreting what he had done. I believe Steve because he joined the church. He said he wouldn't do anything like that, and he actually called my daughter an evil seed.
When I realized that my mom wasn't going to believe me, that made me feel like, you know, what am I going to do? So I just kind of went along with it.
When Amber was 16, she told me that Steve had pinned her down and was trying to kiss her.
Every time I would tell my mom about the abuse, she would just deny it. My mom would say stuff like, you're just trying to rip my marriage apart, that you're trying to ruin an innocent man's life. My mom made me feel really guilty.
The court said I had intentionally and knowingly allowed my children to have sexual contact with Steve. I don't believe that I deserve the charge of child endangerment because I did not allow my kids to do anything like that. I had no idea. I do blame Steve for what happened.
Steve says he's the victim of a scorned woman and her brainwashed daughters, and he also believes he is not the first man they accused. Take a look.
Melanie has been falsely accusing men since the mid-'70s. In 1977, Melanie accused a church peer of conduct and it was handled inside the church. In 1984, Melanie was having an affair with this gentleman. He wanted to break it off, so she first cried to get herself off of that. And then when he really finally broke it off, she planted her daughter, Jessica, into his life and had her accuse him of misconduct. He was arrested and taken to trial and was acquitted. Then in 1990, Melanie said a family friend had Amber. The police were going to move forward with charges. In December of 1990, called Melanie, and she told him that it never happened, and it was horseplay. My case was the 4th time that Melanie has claimed some type of conduct. Melanie is a pathological liar.
Okay, Melanie, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You were found guilty of child endangerment.
Yes.
Because the finding was that you did not protect your daughters.
Yes.
From this man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you know that he was doing what they say he was doing?
What happened is when Jessica was 4 years old, she got molested by a man. And she received counseling for a year and a half, and when she was done, they said she may misinterpret hugs and different things from people because she's sensitive in that area. He knew that. He's a predator.
According to Steve, he says that at 15, you accuse a church peer of...
No, I didn't accuse him. It was my boyfriend.
I mean, what you said started an allegation.
Yeah, I told my boyfriend, though. I didn't tell anybody else.
And then were you having an affair, and after your lover terminated the affair, you charged him with child against Jessica?
That is not true. You are so evil.
I'm the one that went and told my mom what happened to me.
And who made the allegation?
Jessica then would have made the allegation to me, and I turned it over to CPS.
All of a sudden, like a year and a half later, we were in court.
Steve's point is you started this in action, and then the individual was acquitted. So that's the second time. Then 7-year-old Amber, Melanie says that your friend's husband assaulted Amber and you called the police. Amber changes her story saying, well, it was just horseplay, and then the charges were dropped.
That's not even true.
What is true?
I spent the night at my friend's house, and I came home and told my mom and Steve that I woke up and my friend's dad was on the sofa couch sleeping next to me. I never said he touched me. I never said anything bad happened. Then Steve and my mom made a big flipping deal about it and called the cops, and they had me go down and do a kit because there was some blood on my panties or something like that. I never said he did anything to me.
That's my point. Not that you said anything, but that you did.
I called CPS. When Jessica got when she was a young little girl, I knew I couldn't ignore it. I got charged. They said I didn't. They said I intentionally and knowingly allowed my children to have contact with him.
Okay.
I got charged. I'm pregnant with my 6th child, signing in for probation. I've never even had a traffic ticket. And this guy is as narcissistic as he gets.
But you did start the ball rolling.
We both did, huh?
You called the police.
When Amber was 12, another assault by a family member, and then Amber changed her story to say it was blackmail for not helping with housework and there were no charges.
I don't know anything about that.
I've got the police report here for the 7-year-old, and I've got the 12-year-old claiming that a family member had assaulted you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. That's what you call a pattern. That's 5 of them, including you at the end. You're the 5th, well, 5th and 6th.
My mother absolutely did not brainwash us and make us say that's being molested.
She never even did anything when we came to her to tell her it was happening. She actually told me I was trying to steal her man. Her whole life, she's done nothing but try to please her man. Steve had special cereal. He had special soda. We had to drink the powdered milk while he got the regular milk from the store. That's how the level it went to. My mom catered to the men in her life.
My mom wanted to stay with Steve. She didn't believe us at all.
So I know that Steve is trying to say that because there is a pattern here that somehow that disproves these allegations, but this is actually starting to make a lot more sense to me. Right there at the end of that taped piece we just saw, these daughters are saying that the mom prioritized men and catered to men over them. This makes sense because if she was assaulted as a teenager and it was swept under the rug by the church, if she never got any help for that, it would create certain behaviors potentially like catering to men, putting her children in harm's way, certain types of environments. There seems to be a lot of neglect coming from her as well. We know that, one, predators are very intuitive. They can tell when a child would be considered, a good target. They target children who are victims of neglect. They target children who have already been assaulted. So it's no surprise to me if there have been assaults by multiple people, because those stack up. And being assaulted once as a child significantly increases the odds of being assaulted again. And each time increases the odds even more. This to me is looking like a case of generational trauma. Melanie was assaulted, didn't get the help she needs, and now it has trickled over into her choices in men and the environment she's put her children in, and now this is what has happened to them. So nice try, Steve, but I ain't buying it.
Jessica, Amber, and Brittany say their nightmare began 27 years ago when their mother, Melanie, married Steve. Now, behind closed doors, the sisters say Steve was sexually molesting them. He says that he has been falsely accused, has been falsely convicted, and has the evidence to prove it. Now, in Amber's court testimony regarding past allegations, you said, my sister Jessica, she was too young to actually make allegations, but I guess my biological father's friend had done something to her at a really young age, and my sister Brittany had made allegations about some other boy, or originally we thought she was saying Steve, and then ended up telling us later that it was some boy in middle school.
See, that
just reading from the court documents.
That I have no idea. I do remember talking to her about Steve, but I don't know about that part. Honestly, as a child, we all probably said a lot of stuff that was like a cry for help in so many ways, because we were raised in such an abusive, dysfunctional environment. So I remember going to the hospital with her and having that feeling and slight little thoughts about, not thoughts, memories about Steve. And that was where I mentioned it, but it was so foggy still that's why I didn't press it further, because I was like, I don't have vivid memories. I do now, but I didn't back then.
Now, regarding Steve being naked, in an email from Amber on 5/23/2000, Steve noted she indicated that Steve walked into the room naked. Quote, I remember him walking into the room naked, and I don't remember anything else. 2 months later in a police report, Steve noted again that Amber remembered Steve coming in her room naked, but then Steve noted a month later Amber denied seeing Steve completely naked, but had seen his privates while wearing small, tight shorts. So the point is that you said naked, naked, not naked, and you see that as inconsistency.
Yes, sir.
Correct? What do you remember?
I remember one night him coming into the room, and I may have said I don't know if he was naked. I don't really remember what happened. Like I said, some things are very, very vivid, and other things are kind of foggy. And I remember him coming in the room, and then I don't really remember what happened. And later, my brother wrote in a journal, he remembers Steve coming into my room, and getting me and taking me somewhere.
Well, you understand those are powerful words, because you said twice that he came in naked, and then in a police report said, well, he wasn't naked, he had on tight shorts and exposed himself. And
There's
those are,
many different throughout the years, the things that he did.
well, but these were all talking about the same thing. And you're a child. I get it, but you understand to a finder of fact, that's important. Somebody walking in naked versus having shorts on is a distinct difference. That's your point.
She was 16 when she made that statement.
That's your point.
Yes, sir.
Naked, naked, not naked.
Yes,
It's
sir.
either naked or you're not. Which was it? Do you remember?
Like I said, I don't remember specifically. I just remember the image of him coming in the room when it was dark, and I probably said, I think he was naked.
Because in fairness, I'm covering your points here. You're saying the pattern of false allegations. I've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with you. Inconsistencies in the police reports. First, they're thinking they're talking about you. It turns out to be some boy at school. Then we get into whether you're coming in the room naked or not. Those are inconsistencies, no doubt about it. That's what you're pointing to.
Yes, sir.
Among other things.
Among other things.
Coming up, Steve hasn't seen the daughter he had with Melanie in 3 years. What does she think about her half-sister's accusations towards her father?
Melanie had convinced my daughter Jamie that I was a monster since she was 10 years old. They wouldn't let me see her. 10 years later. It was 5:30 in the morning. I got a call. It was Jamie. Wow. And she said, I know you didn't do it, Dad. And she wanted me back in her life. And I actually got to fly to Ohio and give her away at her wedding. That was pretty good. I got her back. We're really close.
Well, Jamie is Steve and Melanie's biological daughter, and she says it's very hard for her to be in the middle of her father and sisters. She went 14 years without speaking to her dad. So how does she feel about all of this now? Take a look.
I believe my dad sexually abused my sisters. I remember being little and watching my dad tickle my sister Amber. He would tickle around her chest, and he called it the booby tickle. When I was 8 years old, I went to give my dad a kiss, and he stuck his tongue in my mouth. I didn't even know what a French kiss was or anything, so when he did that, I was just kind of like, what was that? It kind of makes my skin crawl when I remember it. By the time I was 10 years old, I stopped speaking to my father. When I was around 21 years old, my father contacted me, and I emailed him back. I told him he was sick for what he did to my sisters, and I brought up the kiss situation with me. And he acknowledged it happened, but he twisted it. His exact words were, your memory is quite clouded, child. You did that to me, and I even scolded you for it. I've always felt like he was guilty, but when I was 24 years old, I was getting married, and my mother told me she wasn't coming. I decided to ask my dad to come because it was important to me to have a parent there. It was kind of a dream of mine to have my dad walking down the aisle. My relationship with my dad is pretty complicated. On one hand, he is my flesh and blood, he's my dad. And the other hand, he's a convicted child. Bottom line is, I just want my dad to admit all the things he's done to us.
Jamie, thank you for being here. You've been listening to everything in the show so far?
Yeah.
Let me give you first an opportunity to react to anything you've seen or heard.
First of all, I never called you and said thought that I didn't think you didn't do it. That's a lie.
You told me...
No, I didn't.
Palm reader told
Stop.
you that.
You know what you did. If you love me, you just freaking admit it. Why you gotta lie to me? You kissed me. You did.
Jamie,
No. Do not call me a liar. No. Look at me. Call me a liar. I dare you to call me a liar.
Did you tell me that you know I didn't do it on the telephone?
No, I did not. You're a
Jamie,
liar.
leave.
You call me a liar again. I swear to God. I'm not a liar. You are.
You told me you know I didn't do it.
Not.
You were told I did not do it. That's when you called me. Jamie, oh my goodness. I can't believe you're saying this.
Whatever. Did you kiss me and stick your tongue in my mouth?
I did not.
You're calling me, yes or no, are you calling me a liar?
I'm telling you I didn't do that.
Yes or no, are you calling me a liar?
If you're saying I did that, then yes.
So I'm a liar. Thank you.
Did you tell me that?
No, I didn't. I told you.
That's a lie, too. You told me on the telephone. That you were talking to a fortune teller, and they told you that never happened. And
What
that's
are
why
you
you decided
talking
to
about?
contact me when you called me at 5:30 in the morning. When I was married to
never said that.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
You broke me. You did.
I loved you.
Broke me.
You were the apple of my eye.
I know.
You were as a child.
You were horrible to my sisters.
They were horrible all to each other. Everybody.
Yeah,
that
we
woman
were.
right over
We
there
were
was
children.
terrible to
Hold
you
on.
guys.
Do not talk about my mom right now. It's not about that.
Okay.
Why can't you just not be a liar?
What am I lying about?
It's okay to just say it.
What am I lying about?
Something's wrong with you, and it's okay to need help sometimes.
I'm not saying I was a perfect father, but I never did those things.
Yes, you did.
They're saying I did.
So wait,
how could you
hold
guys
on.
not have never seen it with a house full of children?
Let me speak. You've been out here a lot longer than I have. It's
Go
my
ahead.
turn.
All right.
If you can stick your tongue in your 8-year-old daughter's mouth when she kisses you, how can you not molest your stepdaughters? I'm your flesh and blood. That's freaking
No, I would
nasty.
never do that to you.
No, I don't know because you did do it.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm done.
Be done. Because you know I'm right.
No.
I'm sure it's hard to admit that you got problems. What do you mean, thanks?
We're not telling the truth.
I am telling the truth. You beat the crap out of all of us, not me as
the
much.
crap?
I got spanked.
Once.
You treated me 1,000 times better than them. You made us line up one time when I was 5, so I remember this. Beating the crap out of Jessica. She crawled underneath that picnic table that you built. And you grabbed her by her ankles and drug her. We had to line up and watch. If we didn't, don't look at me like that. You know it's true.
No, she beat the children. She never did it. She never got in cat fights. That I had to separate them.
Why do you keep talking about her?
Because she is the one that did it.
Responsibility
I'm
to
not.
man
I
on you.
didn't. I never beat
Okay,
anybody.
Steve. Let's talk to me for a minute. You've acknowledged in talking to us that you were militaristic
Yes, sir.
in the home, that you were too harsh with the children.
Yes, sir.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here that are saying that you did what you told us you did. Are you going to change your story now? I mean, you were very candid with us.
Out of from underneath benches beating them.
You are such a liar. You did, Steve. It's just ridiculous. We're just sitting up here listening to
Steve,
you lies.
Steve, I'm telling you the truth. I remember that happening.
And then you were laughing that she soiled herself because you're sick like that. And now you want to come up here and pretend that you didn't do those things. That's cool.
Would you agree that you had a dysfunctional role in this family?
I believe the whole entire house is dysfunctional.
Yeah, I know, and I'll go down the line here in a minute. I'm just asking you. I'll ask them in a minute because I think this whole thing is hugely dysfunctional. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, all the way to the point to where I would come home from work, and if her door was shut in her bedroom, everybody in the household knew, do not, upon pain of death, even knock on her door, do not answer the door. If the doorbell rings, do not answer. If the telephone rings, do not answer. So I come home from work, I'd see that door shut, I'd come out and play Chutes and Ladders with the kids, and I'd play games until she had her fill in the bedroom by herself, whatever mom was doing. And somebody in this group was furnishing mom with her drugs, her pills, and her while she was a member of the church, and everybody knows who it was.
And you were my children when we got married in the Mormon temple. How dare you say that, you sick man? You are so sick.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Thankful to admit it.
You know what? We all understand that my mom had some problems in the past that she's been working on. And that was exactly why you were able to marry her in the first place, was because you saw that you could do that to her and that she would be your next victim. And it would be so easy because...
No, I saw it because I had a son that needed a mom, and her kids were always, hair was combed perfect and looked good, and I needed a mother for my son, and that's how we became the Brady Bunch.
Let me ask a couple of questions on Steve's behalf, because you're the worst advocate for yourself I believe I've ever seen. One of the reasons that he is upset, and I think anyone would be, is he goes to trial and gets a sentence and a registered offender for life, and sometime thereafter you recant your testimony. So I got to tell you, if I've been down there and been convicted, sentenced, and put on the registry or whatever the crime, and then the victim recants and says, it didn't happen. I lied. It didn't happen. I think I would be pretty upset about that. And you did recant.
Yes, I did.
Correct?
Yeah.
You said, I believe that Steve, in fact, never sexually abused me or my sister Amber.
I don't remember everything that I said. But
Well,
yes,
I have it right here.
Yeah.
It's a transcript from the court testimony. That our mother, beginning at a young age, routinely and regularly implanted in my siblings and I an unfounded belief that we were victims of sexual abuse. We made the accusations under pressure from our mother to support her in the divorce.
What?
And you got to remember, Steve, how often did you coach me into saying stuff about the video, getting together? Your mom was filming me. Yes, you did. I am not making this up. I have to still be a part of your family. They found out that I'm on the show. They're harassing my daughters.
Yep.
She's sending me screenshots of why they have to keep my kids involved in this. It's like, gotta stop.
Your kids have nothing to do with this.
Oh, they do.
I've never spoken to your children. I've stayed away.
So what has Steve admitted to doing? I've talked about the things that he says exonerate him, that call into question his convictions here. We're going to talk about what he admits to next. Plus, Jamie asked her father to take a polygraph exam. We're going to have those results in just a few minutes.
So I'm really glad we got to hear from Steve's biological daughter, Jamie, and wow, that was powerful. It wasn't just the stepdaughters that he was assaulting. He was doing it to his own biological daughter as well, even if it's just that one incident of putting his tongue down her throat. One incident is all it takes. It's just sad to see how emotional all of these women are, how much they've been harmed by this. And I'm really glad that Brittany has so much awareness about the patterns and the cycles that lead to this, because she said just what I was saying, that their mother has had problems. I'm glad to hear that she's working on them, but because she already had this trauma and these problems, that is how Steve was able to marry her. And so they were in the church. It sounds like they were really deep in the Mormon church, and I assume it was the Mormon church where the mom was also assaulted as a child. So it's just all making a lot of sense that Melanie would put her children in harm's way, would open her arms to this dangerous predator. She did not know what she was doing, but this man absolutely knew what he was doing. I know there's going to be a polygraph test. We're going to get the results of that. I'm looking forward to it, but I also want to say that no matter what the results are, even if he passes the polygraph test, I still don't believe him, because if this man is a psychopath, a sociopath, he could pass with flying colors. He might not have a physiological response to a lie detector test. So we just have to see what happens next.
Steve is a freak. Steve said that I coerced my daughters because I wanted to get back at him, and that's not true. He has never taken responsibility for anything he's done. I did not ruin Steve's life. Steve ruined his own life by using my daughters. I think Steve is the essence of evil.
Steve says he is an innocent man and never used his stepdaughters. He says he took a polygraph test in 2001 and he passed it. There are allegations from these daughters. These are the allegations. And we've talked about the inconsistencies in some of those, correct? And that there's been a pattern of allegations that didn't have anything to do with you. And then we've just talked about the fact that Jessica recanted her testimony and said that it didn't happen to her or her sisters and that she was programmed by her mother to say it. And you, in fact, were paid money to say that, correct? Mm-hmm. $1,000?
Yep.
I want to talk about what Steve has admitted to. In a police interview on July 25th, 2000, Steve said, "I've tickled them. I've tickled all the children. Bite them down here." And you were referring to the rib area, right? Okay, I want to be clear about that. "But I've never come to a place where I shouldn't be, on the ribs. Blow on their tummies, but as they get older and they start to develop, there are certain things you don't do. But even when they're young, there's still certain places you don't go. But as the person gets older, you still have tickle fights and stuff." That's something you said to the police. And when you were talking to our producer, you said, "I come from a tickle monster family style of fun, pre-computer era. So oftentimes it was 6-on-1, and on more than one occasion, people were touched, kicked, or poked inadvertently." So you're saying there may have been contact even in an inappropriate area, but inadvertently.
Even with me, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Steve did take a polygraph. He took a polygraph test, and I have the results in this envelope. I haven't looked at it, but you don't want to miss it. I think I know what it says, and I think I know why, but we'll find out in just a minute.
Today I'm going to do a polygraph test with Steve. He was deemed a registered offender, and today is his chance to clear the record if he passes this test.
Well, Jamie wanted Steve to take another polygraph exam, so we reached out to Jack Tremarco. In my opinion, he is the top polygraph examiner on the globe. He's a former FBI special agent and FBI polygraph examiner. Now, Jack has conducted over 3,500 polygraph examinations. Let me ask you, you met Jack Tremarco. Were you comfortable with him?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did you feel like you were treated fairly by him?
I was.
Were you hurried in any way? Were you pressured by him in any fashion, or did he take his time with you and explain everything?
He took his time, yeah. It was about 3 hours.
So you have no complaints about the test?
I do not.
Okay. Jack, was there anything that you detected that caused you to question the results of this test?
No, it was an average test. Steve was a cooperative person.
All right, and you didn't detect any countermeasures?
No countermeasures.
Attempts to beat the test in any way?
No.
There were 4 questions on this test. Question 1, did you ever touch Amber for a reason? And your answer was?
No.
Did you ever touch Amber for a sexual reason when she was a child?
No.
Did you ever touch Jessica for a sexual reason?
No.
Did you ever touch Jessica for a reason when she was a child?
No.
And the results were non-deceptive, that you were telling the truth.
I knew it. This whole thing just felt like a witch hunt from the beginning. It was terrible. To hear these allegations, it's sad.
What do you think about these results?
I don't care what it says. I know what he did to me, and I'm not making it up.
Understand. What do you think?
I think he believes his lies so much that he's able to deceive the test.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to explain. I said before I looked in here that I felt like I knew what this was going to say, and that I felt like I know why. And when we come back, I'm going to explain exactly what I meant, and I think it's going to make a lot of sense to everybody. We'll be right back. You know, I said before I opened that envelope that I felt like I knew what it was going to say, and that I knew why. I thought you were going to pass this test. This test measures what you perceive to be the truth. Correct, Jack?
Exactly right.
I said this very early on in our conversation. If you'll think back, I said, if you believe he really believes what he's saying, why would you be upset with him? Because you can't be mad at somebody for believing what they believe, if they believe it. And I said, why would you be upset with her if she believes what she believes? That doesn't mean that that's not distorted in some way. And I have no doubt that alcohol has played a huge part in distorting your recollections, your inhibitions, your behaviors. Do I think that you're lying? Absolutely not. The fact that you recanted doesn't make me believe that you're lying. Do I think that you're lying? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And absolutely not. I don't think anybody's lying here. I believe that this is a highly dysfunctional situation. I believe that your respect of boundaries in a family full of women is really poor. You guys are hurt and you need to heal. And I want to help you to do that. The first thing I want to do is I've been talking to Miles Adcox at Onsite. They put together really custom, intense therapeutic workshops for people that have suffered trauma and have lost their way and emotionally are really disoriented. And I've made arrangements to start sending you guys down there 2 or 3 at a time and let you be there however long you need to be there to hit the reset button and find your bearings here and realize your worth and your value. And that's where I want to start, and then I want to follow it up and back it up with some really strong individual counseling and life coaching to get you back where you need to be. Okay, will you accept this help? Okay. All right, we've got to stop. I do want to thank all of my guests today. Let me tell you something. We deal with real people and real stories here. And when you deal with real people and real stories, they're not always black and white. It's not always one way or the other. But that's okay. We work to criteria. We're going to get this right. We're going to get this family healthy.
This is part 2 in a 2-part series. In part 1, we met all of these sisters who wanted to confront their former stepfather for abusing them. Of course, he denies it, and actually he's the one who wrote into the show to clear his name. I don't think this episode did that for him. So yeah, he's a very poor self-advocate. I agree with Dr. Phil. It does seem as though the mother enabled abuse. She seems like she was neglectful, and now we understand why. And I do get the sense that she has started owning parts of that, especially because the daughters are not angry with her here on the stage. So I do think some healing has taken place between Melanie, the mom, and the daughters. But this man is relentless. He refuses to admit anything. Like I said before, I don't care what the polygraph results say. I think he's guilty. And it seems that Dr. Phil agrees. He certainly believes that what these women say happened to them happened to them. But, you know, I'm not sure if I agree with Dr. Phil 100% about why he passed the test. It is possible that he genuinely believes that he did nothing wrong due to his own poor sense of boundaries, due to alcoholism. But, you know, he was pretty drunk when he made against all of them, and he remembers that. He remembers that, doesn't he? So why would he remember that and not remember any instance of all of these other things happening? Personally, I think that he passed the test because he does not have any physiological response when he lies, as many people with antisocial personality disorder might experience. I'm not saying that's what he has. I'm not saying I'm going to diagnose him, but I'm just saying. I do think this man is a predator. I do think he's sick. I'm glad that he went to prison, and I'm glad that he is on the offender registry, so at least the next unsuspecting woman can be suspecting. But what did you guys think about this episode? What do you think about Steve? Do you think that the polygraph results absolve him of these allegations? I personally don't, but I'd really like to get your opinion on it. I believe this is the first time that we have watched someone pass a polygraph when we feel that the person's guilty. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that, or if you think that this does prove his innocence. I don't think that any of the receipts he brought were that strong. He said he had evidence. Like, it sounded like he was going to bring this ironclad documentation to prove his innocence, and all he did was show what they already knew, that Jessica recanted, which she already talked about in part 1, that she recanted because of pressure from his family. And now we're hearing that his mom was there with a video recorder taping her recanting it, like writing the scripts for her and all that. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't think that he helped himself here at all. What do you think about the other daughters? What do you think about Brittany, Amber? What do you think about Jamie, his biological daughter? She said that he stuck his tongue down her throat. I mean, this is wild. And what do you think about the mom, Melanie? You know, she was an enabler. She did create this situation for her children. It is sad, but I would say this is the one instance where at least I feel like the enabling parent is acknowledging that they were the enabling parent and that they made a horrible mistake. I don't usually see that in these episodes of Dr. Phil, but please let me know what you guys think about this. If you have any experience with this, please share. You know, I shared in part 1 that I have experience with being by stepfather, so I'm sharing this as a safe space. Feel free to talk about your experiences. Let me know. Drop it in the comments.